Is that Wiz
7
Khalifa?
a.m. No, this is Joyner Lucas put out a new jam called 17 with the Mac Miller joint in the background, and he rapped over it. R.I.P. Mac. I've been playing that song on repeat literally for like just all day.
Send it to
17
me.
Joyner.
Send it to me. I gotta listen to it.
All right.
So fudge. This had to have been almost 10 years ago. When I first moved to Malibu, there's this place called Cafe Havana that's like it was this cool thing where it was like it's a Mexican restaurant, and it's owned by Randy Gerber, the guy who's married to Cindy Crawford. I believe it's Cindy Crawford. And it would turn into, on Wednesdays, what is it called? Karaoke bar.
Oh, I like it.
And, you went there for the Cougars. We went there for the Cougars, and there was a lot. And we went and had a good time. But, dude, celebrities would come and get up on the mic, and one night Mac Miller shredded it up.
Really?
And so did
I
Gary
never got to see
Busey.
him. He came to IU, but I never bought tickets.
Yeah, man. And it was so cool. Like, it wasn't the kind of thing where we went every Wednesday. You'd probably go every, 2 months or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I had some wild times there, and it was just so cool to witness that. Gary Busey's my favorite. Cuban Gooding Jr. frequents that place all the time, and he loves showing up.
Was Busey there?
Gary Busey used to go there a bunch.
Yeah. What Cuba Gooding, was that the incident where he had video of like him inappropriately, maybe like instead of on the shoulder, he did the slight of the back, and he got all a bunch of shit for it?
I don't know what you're referring to, but every time I've seen him, he shows up with a curvaceous blonde girl, and they're not the same person every time. Dude.
Flavor of the week.
Nice. Oh. What are you drinking?
This is the München, the one from the Hofbrauhaus. I'm drinking X2, Strength X2.
Dude, I cannot believe it. Let's just get that out of the way.
Can I just say thank you, Craig Marshall? Or no, sorry, Craig Marshall. Yes, shout out him. He's my Dubs partner in Hyrox. But Marshall Couples puts us over the edge as to the biggest sale date to date for Builder Sports. Ooh!
It's big. It's big. I was just looking at it, dude. We are about to beat the sales numbers of the UK. And
there we go.
And we've only got 2 products, and it's just crazy. And we got Pre-Power coming out next. This is honestly my favorite product by far, man. And
the Pre or Strength?
No, Strength X2. Dude, my body has transformed. Like, I originally did this when I set the record for Murph, and I was taking creatine and citrulline a lot. And I was
Were you just buying
buff.
a whole bunch of extra products, and you were just making your own combos?
I was making my own stuff. Go type in Hunter McIntyre Murph and look at the size of my arms and the way that I looked when I was training for Murph back then. I was enormous. Like, I had such insane arms, chest, abs, like back. It was nuts. And I'm only about 4 weeks into Murph training right now, and my chest is crazy. Like, I'm starting to get so much striations in my chest. It's starting to like curl inwards, and it's starting to become a cage again. And my shoulders and arms, I'm like, damn. And it's the pairing of the 2 things. It's the Murph style training and the Strength X2. And my numbers are enormous, dude. Like, I'm crushing bench press. I'm crushing power cleans. And I don't know if it's just because like the volume of just doing leg stuff for thousands of reps every week. And here, go to images.
All right. So what's going to happen is I'm going to have, oh no, it does follow. Sometimes it doesn't follow.
Yeah, like you see like the way how big and buff my chest is for that Fox News article right there. Like, I was jacked up, and it builds like this cage in your shoulders and your arms and everything. And honestly, dude, like I love it. I think anybody who's going to spend a fair amount of time in the gym and really wants to get the best results, I created this pre-workout for people that were doing more of those high intensity gym sessions. And the results are phenomenal.
The Strength X2, not the Pre.
I want to address this thing with Jim Will. So in 2014, I made this post about my first ever world title. In 2014, I'm going to tell you guys a little history story, and we're going to get back to Strength X2. Jim, I hope you're still here because I'd love for you to listen to this. So originally, Spartan Race proposed that we were supposed to have a joint world championship. We were going to do the long distance and the short distance, and the combination of your two results would create the overall world champion. At some point in time, Hobie Call threw this fit, and Hobie Call was the world champion from the year before. So we had, he was basically the best in history. He had a ton of attention whenever he said something. And he said that was too much work for the athletes to do in one day. Now, think about it. Ironman athletes are doing races that are 8 hours long. Spartan Race World Championships at the time, long distance was about 3 hours. And then the short distance one was, I think it took us less than 10 minutes. So it was a combination of the two. Then all of a sudden, Hobie threw this fit, and then all of a sudden it became this crowdsourcing, bitching, and moaning, and they cut that out. It was no longer going to be the combination of the two, so they separated the two of them.
He had that much pull.
I guess so, man. I mean, rightfully so. It'd be like if I threw a fit in Hyrox right now, I could at least get enough people to listen that it would maybe make a difference.
Yeah.
Now, what they did instead is if you ran the long distance world championship and you got, I think, top 15, then you immediately got to go to the short distance championship following it. So it was like we crossed the finish line, everybody chills out for about 2 hours, and then we went and raced the short course. So I don't know. We should probably call Bracken. I'll text him right now. They had a cash prize, a podium, and a cash prize and a podium, and they had cameras everywhere. It was the best filmed thing that ever happened actually in the history of Spartan Race. It was the most professional thing. And if you I'll look at the posts. What the hell is his name? One of our friends, he has the whole YouTube episode, and I can post it up and see if we can screen record it and post it up on our thing. But it was its own separate world championship. It ended up separating itself, and it was myself, Bracken, and Isaiah Vidal who got on the podium for it, and then they never did it again. And now it's funny because if you fast forward 10 years later, now the primary championship for Spartan Race is the 3K distance. So if they had just stuck with that short course model this whole time, they wouldn't have wasted all of this stupidity and money and sports. It was the right thing for them to do as a brand if they were going to try to get into the Olympics, yet they completely ditched the program. And now all of a sudden they've rebuilt it and it's the pinnacle of the program. And honestly, I'll speak from the heart. I love Spartan Race. It's what got me started. I'm so grateful for it. But they were such an all over the place company. Eventually I had to walk away from the brand because you could never tell what they were going to do the next year or the next minute as far as the race went. And
so they had the keys back, and then they had the blueprint. They walked away from the blueprint. 10 years later, they came back to the blueprint that they had 10 years prior.
Basically. And it was such a cool design. Dude, you should have seen, if you look at the picture of myself in that post, there are hundreds and hundreds of people lining up, watching the whole thing on every single side. There was lanes, there was the group in the middle, and there was an island, and that's where the broadcasters and cameras were. There was tons of people. And then on the outside surrounding the whole short course, there were tons of people. It was amazing. And it was the only thing that was really going to help Spartan Race actually grow into a brand where people could sit there and enjoy it and watch it. Right now, they have Super League down here for triathlon in Malibu. And they had to redesign, basically triathlon, because they recognize if we want to get better viewership, we got to create a new thing. And now Spartan Race is doing it, and so on and so forth. But I don't know, long-winded answer. Hopefully that made sense to you, Jim Will. But that was the world title that I won in 2014. And then I won the team world title at World's Toughest Mudder, shortly thereafter, which was dope. Let's go on a couple of the other.
Was that TMX?
No, it's World's Toughest Mudder. It's a 24-hour championship. It was epic, dude. It was so epic. I love that race. I would actually like to go watch it again this year. Strength X2 now in the US. Can you talk about some of the frequency and to use it in a week? At what point to use it daily? So, Zach, So Strength X2 is the combination of creatine and citrulline. Citrulline on its own doesn't need to be loaded. You can take it and its effect immediately. It's a blood flow support. So blood flow is the idea is like, if you are taking this stuff, you're going to notice it either will help out with erections or will help out with gym pumps. And what ends up happening is you'll notice you're pumping your arms up and you'll see the vascularity in your body will change drastically. And what you need is blood flow, oxygen, nutrients going into these muscles and also coming back equally, flushing out all the lactic acid and things like that so you continue to work at a higher capacity. The creatine aspect of it, which is very valuable and probably the most valuable supplement in the entire world at this moment, is basically something that allows your body to create more force. It's a fuel system going on inside of the muscle bellies. There's ATP, glycogen, and fat. It works on the ATP system. You
Your
have to
body
load
already
that.
has creatine in it. You are giving it a boost of what your body already naturally creates.
Sure. But you'd have to eat so much food to get that same source. It's almost impossible. It's like the same reason with like why we have an electrolyte drink. You will naturally get minerals inside of your food, and there's naturally minerals inside of water, but it not at the rate that we're training and exercising at that we're depleting ourselves. So if you're going to take something like Strength X2, you got to take it daily. And around halfway through the tub, you're going to start to notice those differences. But it's something that's like it's like it's got to be your church. It's got to be your daily cup of coffee. Like you cannot bail on this thing halfway through and expect to have results in a couple weeks. It's a daily thing.
Now, our female listeners, they can use it too. You said if you want to be or if you want to have daily erections, you can still get a lady boner. But
Yeah.
women can take this, and it's not just for men.
No, I mean it's not just for men by any means. Like I'm speaking to things that I think men would be find valuable. But honestly, it's one of these kind of products where I see so many girls. Like the CrossFit industry and the female gym industry is almost bigger than the men. Like I see more chicks in the gym these days than I see dudes. And I see girls love lifting weights more than ever before. So if you're in the gym and you're putting plates on the bar and you're trying to increase your training capacity, you're trying to increase your physique, you're going to want to take products that are going to help you get there faster and give you better results from the time that you put in. This is the number one product that you could imagine. If you're in the gym lifting weights, whether it's just like you trying to grow that ass, you're trying to increase that snatch, whatever the heck it is, you might as well take the products that are going to give you more benefits than the time you put in. And then beyond that, like you do have to eat properly. You do have to sleep properly. Like those are things that I can't be your daddy on. Like you can hire a nutrition coach, but like I can make the products that I tell you that are going to give you the best results.
You can lead the horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Nah, no, no, no. But if you are going to drink,
Drink,
it better have
baby.
fucking Strength X2 in it. All right.
Well, that was the first thing that when we had Megan Jacoby on, you were like, you asked her, hey, what's your supplementation? What do you take for supplements? And like the first thing that she said was, I take a daily dose of creatine.
And look at her. She's a fucking
It's
beast.
great.
She's a real beast. Dude, Battle Bunker is coming up really soon. And we were sitting there and we were just talking about, who's going to compete at the highest level. There's a couple girls that I'll just tell you, like Megan Jacoby and Carly
Oh yeah.
Warpath. Hey, dude, like that's a mountain of a woman. And Jacoby is just a weapon. Like, I mean, she's something like the Russians designed, and we're like, this is our new. And you got these two girls. I mean, there's plenty of other incredibly talented athletes, but I'm just personal pick. I look at those two women in almost any situation, and I say to myself, wow. Carly went to Go Ruck games and literally knotted everybody up like they were nothing. And, I
Women to
think
look out for.
yeah, I think you look at Jacoby, she's got a rookie year going on and she broke the world record and did some of the most dominant stuff that's ever been done in our sport. So, just follow what those girls are up to and let them kick some ass. I think Carly's going to come to our long run. She's
Okay.
going to come to our long run for
Is that
Builder
the
Run
is that
Club.
the Saturday AM Builder Run Club?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I really like it. Like, so what we've been doing a lot has been doing like the typical run club, and then every 3 to 4 weeks we do like an excursion,
Mm.
and it's all
Like
within
a little
90
field trip.
minutes. Yeah, field trip. It's all within 90 minutes of LA. So It ends up being pretty gosh darn good.
So that
I've
could
got
be like 2 hours. That could be like 2.5 hours with like LA traffic though.
we leave
So just
so
plan your
early.
morning.
We leave
Yeah,
so early it doesn't become an issue.
good.
I really gotta I want to nail this down. Like I've got so many things I want to chat about, but what's going on with you and the weight loss?
Oh, it's good.
Is it?
I'm
Your
back,
face
yeah, I'm
looks
back
good.
kind of I'm chiseling out. I think Alex is just slow rolling me. He's like doing shoulder flies with dresser drawers, and he's like, I'm just running mountains. But I think really behind the scenes, he's just not putting it out there. I know he's got a bum knee, but I think the guy, he's like actually training, and he's just like slow rolling me. He's like, I'm lifting these dresser drawers above my head. This is all I'm doing. This is all I'm doing. But buddy, I've been hitting it so hard in the gym. If I look at my training peaks and then I just downloaded Strava again, that volume's going up. Coach Parker at Lightning Party Fitness has got me dialed in on nutrition, and I know Alex is like, maybe if I counted macros, I'll be able to like run up this mountain faster. But buddy, it works.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Wadzami
going.
says you're looking good, dude. He says you're
Thank you,
looking
Wad.
good, and your face, his face is way different. Look at that, dude. People are complimenting your face. You know, I was, we were together for training camp about a week ago with everybody, and Alex was there and partaking in a fair amount of what we were doing, filming and what we were doing,
Yeah.
but he wasn't doing like the intensity or the volume we were doing,
Okay.
but he was eating like we were, and I
So
think
he
I
had
got
the
on.
nutrition side on point. He was just not doing the strength train to like
No. I'm saying
himself eat it.
he was eating and drinking like I eat like brownies and ice cream at nighttime. He
Mhm.
was doing that, and I was getting on him pretty hard. I was like, dude, what the fuck? And
There we go,
basically,
Caleb.
dude, he and I haven't talked in a week. I
Mm.
think he's real pissed at me.
He might be just in the pain cave, like, oh, let's go. Fuck everybody.
Maybe,
Let's go.
maybe I don't know what's going on there, but maybe it's just one of these kind of things where you just don't know until you know, and he's just been tricking all of us.
I think so.
Maybe, maybe he's a
Well,
genius. Maybe he's an
if
evil
if he's
genius.
running this like I did the last year's Fight the Fat, it was I got 8 weeks, so 4 weeks. I got another month. I'll start working it hard on the second month, and I learn from the past. I learn from the mistakes because it doesn't get better in just a month.
It doesn't, dude. I have to start working on losing weight. Like I don't ever have really a bad physique, but to get into like race shape, I have
Mm.
to start way farther out now because like I will train so hard and I will need so much food, like mass gainers all day long, and rice and chicken and ice
You got to
cream and
be at
bread.
like 5,000 calories a day. No.
Yeah, but then all of a sudden to like fine tune that and bring
Mhm.
down the weight, like I'm at 207 now, and I know that I want to be in December probably in the low 190s. Like I'm not eating steak anymore. So like I'm pulling out the things with the extra fats. And at nighttime, I'm just not drinking. I'm not like, I don't have this like infatuation with booze, but if you and I sit down and have a
It's nice to
meal,
have a glass of wine
yeah,
or
it's a
something.
nice glass of wine, a beer, whatever. Caleb was at our training camp. We never drank to the point of drunk, but every night we had like the booze ball out. We would be like sipping on a beer. It's just something fun to kind of do.
Yeah.
And you have to just keep on like finding ways to trim little fat. And next thing you know, you're like, I look at the scale. I'm like, man, I'm down 2 pounds from last week. And then you look
Mhm.
at the scale again in like a week, you're like, I'm down another pound. And then all of a sudden, 8 weeks of that, you're down 8 to 10 pounds.
Yeah.
But the reason why Alex got upset with me, and I think even at one point he was like hangry because like
Mhm.
he had stopped eating and then all of a sudden it snapped on him. Like you can't you can't like wake up in the morning and just stuff yourself with food. Like you have to go up to the first workout fasted. And at
Mm.
nighttime, when you eat your meal, like you're not allowed to have an appetizer and then have a dessert. Like you have to have your core meal. And these are the things that end up being the difference between your goals and not reaching your goals. Is just like I was just watching a Kipchoge interview and he goes vitamin N, like the number one thing is vitamin N. It's the word no. So
Mm.
when someone tries to hand you something, "Hey, man, have a beer." I'm like, "No." Christ's sake, I was home with my family, just home, and I was like, "Guys, I'm not drinking." My mom's just like, "Have a glass of wine and we'll settle you out." I'm like, "Mom, no. What is wrong with you?" So,
I had my dad over. We watched the Colorado game. Big fan of prime time now these days.
is he
No
undefeated?
affiliation. No, they lost bad to Oregon. Oregon is fast, very fast. And just watching, dad brings over the beers, so I'm gonna have a couple beers. Then, I did some pizza later in the evening, and then I texted coach. I was like, it kind of fell off. It was one day, and it was like I had a pizza party. He goes, dude, I don't care what kind of party it was. Do you want to win this thing or not? And I was like, yeah. So
Ooh,
that's in
bitch.
the back of my head. I'm like, fuck, I don't care what kind of party it is. Get your ass in gear.
Good for Parker for having a
Yeah,
set of balls. We should get Parker on here
he's
and
on it.
talk about strategy. Where is Parker? Parker, if you're watching this, call in.
He normally has a standing weight training session with my mom on Tuesday or Monday mornings or Tuesday mornings, or now it's Wednesday. So it's normally Monday, Wednesday. So he was just about finishing this time, but they're on vacation in Destin.
Is Parker's there?
No, no, no. My mom is, but
Oh,
she was doing tricep dips in the water yesterday.
nice, dude. Lightning Fitness.
We party fitness.
Let's talk about some things here. We did talk about potential champions for the male female side at Battle
Yeah.
Bunker.
Who do we have for males?
I mean, like Caleb, I think he's tuning in right now. We got Caleb on here,
Caleb, Cole Daddy,
Cole Daddy. We got Jake the
Marshall,
Snake. We got
Marshall couples.
Mar- Marshall Couples. There's Jack Driscoll.
Who was the it was a UK guy and he came in first on the row
there's
ruck
a
run and he just was a his rower was messed up and he
no.
was
That was a
still
UK guy. That's the fuck is his name? That's
got an
Rylan.
interesting name. Rylan, yeah.
Rylan. Rightfully so, Rylan's not coming back. His rower broke last year. That was one of the most like emotionally heartbreaking moments for me in my career. These
We
guys all
texted him
showed up
too.
on the rowers, and I feel bad saying this out loud, but it is an honest statement. We got rowers from Invictus, and we got half of the rowers from a row club in San Diego. From my
Mhm.
buddy who has a very, very established business in the rowing world. And he's like, these guys will lend you rowers. We go pick everything up, we treat everything perfectly. Half of the rowers we collected from that rowing company all malfunctioned.
Mm.
Everything else worked well that weekend, but they all malfunctioned. And this kid Rylan was doing so well, and then it malfunctioned on him. And I was like, I was heartbroken for him because I would have killed somebody if that happened to me. And I was like, oh my God, I'm the dude who screwed this up. Like I screwed this up for this guy. And it was tough. It was tough to witness. It was tough to have him go through that. Um,
Can we do is there any type of preview to where this year we are going to be using some rowers?
we're testing everything to give the exact answer for everybody this weekend. Like everything's the
Mm.
thing, all the equipment's bought. We're just making sure we're going to go do a whole test weekend this weekend. I will tell you right now, and like I should probably converse with Austin. There are no machines. There's nothing there that can malfunction. There's nothing there that is going to give you guys hard, questionable repetitions. It is
Mhm.
going to be very raw, it is going to be very straightforward, and it is going to be basically, can you get this task done better than somebody else? It's not up for interpretation. It's going to be a very, very raw event. Unlike things that you would witness in other competitions for sure. Like this is not meant to be like CrossFit. This is not meant to be like Go Ruck games. It's just meant to be, oh fuck. Like this is a battle. Like this is a real fucking battle. And people are going to be emotionally broken down, people are going to be physically broken down, and it's not an attack. It's a question and we're asking you to respond to it.
Get
So,
inside your mind.
can you do this? Can
Mhm.
you do this? Because if you think about the roots of like special forces and tactical style fitness, they don't want to know the dude who's got the six pack or the chick who can do, a 200-pound snatch, because that's all well and good when you're in a perfectly measured environment with air conditioning on and so on and so forth. They want to find the person that under the most challenging of situations doesn't break. That's what we created. And that's what we're trying to create on a higher level every single season. And it will be very interesting. I mean, this season's so much more elevated than it was last season, and that's awesome. But what's going to happen third season? It's almost like the Richter scale of earthquakes. Like 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 are infinitely
Mhm.
bigger, but the difference between 4 to 5 is even greater than the distance between 1 to 4. So
Mm.
each season will get more and more crazy, and it's the stuff that I dreamed of when I was an athlete, and I'm going to try to create that environment for people, the most challenging and the most epic and the most rewarding. And the person who answers the question will be rewarded with not only cash but pride for being a champion of that capacity.
Are any of the challenges going to be the Bruce Bugtrotter challenge?
The fuck is that?
It was on the Rock Zone podcast. The guys are like, "What non-physical activity would you add to a Hyrox in the middle of it that isn't there now?" And so it's not adding more push-ups. It was a non-physical. So one of the guys suggested it's from Matilda, and Bruce Bugtrotter is one of the characters, and he gets caught eating the cake. So he's like, "All right, you have to eat this entire chocolate cake in front of assembly," and he does. So, but it's a big ass chocolate cake. I
I would
just thought,
dominate that.
yeah. Hot dog
Oh
eating
man.
contest in the middle of after your 5K run.
Caleb, are you still on here? Because I want to know your opinion of who you think the heaviest competition for yourself is going to be. Put it in the notes, please. And then we got Chris Bystyfield. I want to stop by and say hi to the Golden God.
I think
Is
he's
that?
referring to you.
Are you sure? Because right now you're looking pretty good.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, Wad Zombie. It's annoying how handsome Austin is. I can't tell if Wad Zombie's a guy or a girl.
He's a guy.
Are you sure?
Yeah, he said it on here. But also, if you take a look at whenever you create your profile on Instagram, it makes you put a name, and his name is Nick, although that could be like Nicolette
Yeah, for
or
sure.
Nicole.
For sure. Justin M. Really pumped about Strength X2 delivery. Michael Curry, what's my next Hyrox race? That's a conversation we're going to get into soon. Um, Caleb, heaviest competition. Wad Zombie says he has a penis. That's
Okay,
cool. But these days,
that
chicks can
doesn't
have
necessarily
penises
mean.
too. So
Do you
what the fuck,
identify as a
man?
male? I
You're
think
trying to
he
be
identif
vague.
I think he's saying I identify as a male.
Nick the Dick. Nick the Dick. Very interesting. I want to know the truth. All right? Smoke and mirrors, dude. You can put a penis on anything these days.
He
And
did,
I'm not
or
judging.
Rob Zombie did say that he would be up for like being a guest host on the pod.
I'm nervous. We don't know what's on the other side of that wall. Uh, yeah, you just don't know. You just don't know. We're cheating on Savan. Yeah, you guys are cheating on Savan. I will say I am so proud of Savan. And Savan and I didn't know each other at all until about a year and a half ago. We
Oh, I
built this
thought y'all
relationship.
had like a long-term relationship, like knowing each other back in the day.
No, man, it just immediately kind of just like it was such an easy, seamless kind of thing. No ego involved, no nothing. It was just it's like, hey, man, this is fun.
Mhm.
And that's the way chicks should be, by the way. But he has grown his podcast and his business to such a level that I am massively impressed. Like I am so
Yeah.
proud of him that he took back the reins on the voice of what's going on in CrossFit. I think he helped entirely was like I don't know, such a massive part about growing that business and then they turned his back on him. And you know what? I'm sure it hurt, but he didn't cry and run away from the business and now he's reestablishing his relationship with it and he's
Was he
killing it.
associated with CrossFit?
Dude, he was the one who
Like on
created all the
on
all the media, all those documentaries about CrossFit. Those documentaries that basically made CrossFit what it is, because people wouldn't have known about the players involved, the workouts involved, the intensity, the versatility, how incredible of an event it is, if it wasn't for those documents. And that's why I've always said, like, it's so annoying that Spartan Race and Hyrox have not taken advantage of that because
Mhm.
if they
They
did
need
at
a
a higher
Savan.
level, Yeah, they need Savon. They should hire him right now.
Is
Big
is that
paycheck.
his real name, or is that
I think
kinda
he's
like the
Armenian.
savant? He's a savant,
No,
it
Savant's
means
what
like
you're
an
thinking of.
expert. Oh,
So you're thinking there's a
that's
T
one
at
of
the end of
those,
that.
I still can't pronounce the shit correctly.
Uh,
Duathlon.
Caleb's saying that Aston Dommel, do not know who that is. And being that I'm the race director, it's probably not a good thing. But I forget people's names often. But Aston, Cole Schwartz, Cole Daddy
Old daddy.
is thick right now. Cole Daddy is thick. He's a beefcake. But he also ran the Devil's Butt Crack with us, and he had a pretty competitive time,
Mm,
but not insanely competitive. Caleb, on the other hand, did not have a competitive time.
mm.
Caleb was a gutter goose. Like
I
Caleb,
was
what's that?
when I ran that gosh darn thing like that, it's so tough. And then you were talking about, well, I was thinking about running it with a weight vest. I was like, I can't even do this with just body weight, bud.
It's so trashed right now that the times are slower by like 90 seconds plus.
Is it like washed out from rain and stuff,
Oh
or
yeah, yeah.
yeah?
I mean, you can
You
barely
need
handle it.
some type of track or hiking shoes to do that thing. I was it's very steep, and just trying to, if you were to go back down there and as opposed to like what Dylan and I did out and around and almost got lost.
Puma finally sent me some trail shoes, and they're
Ooh,
gangsters all hell. I needed them
in
because
a
all
good
I've
way,
had
yeah.
is, yeah, they're really good. They're really good. They look fresh too. It's almost like I don't want to go on the trail with them because I look so cool. That's a big part of what Puma does. They've got such good fashion. Caleb, look at this. Caleb weighs 230 like a hippo trying to run uphill. Caleb, speaking yourself in the third person, great, great start to this conversation. And I do know you're talking about Aston. He's that big blonde guy who is going to be a big problem for you. Just saying, this is going to be really exciting. Um, I want to go back up to the top. I want to bring up Hyrox season, and I've been trying to figure this out. It looks like my first race is going to be Birmingham. If everything books correct, I'm going to go and race doubles in Birmingham. We're going for the world record. And then we are going to do the men's relay the following day or at some other point in time that weekend to go for the men's relay record as well. So I'm really excited about that. I'm kind of starting to push my shape and work towards that right now. I do not think I'm going to go to Chicago. I just don't think it's necessary to start the season that early. And then, at least for singles, and then I guess doubles with the founder of Represent in London. And then the first championship for me will be Stockholm.
Is the North America? I was looking at times and places this year where they're hosting, and it looks like Chicago is not the North American Championships. It's pushed to March 2024,
To
and in
DC.
DC. Yeah.
I mean, I think DC is a dog shit city. So, but I understand that they need time to build it up.
Hmm.
And there's probably more people on the East Coast that are interested in it. Like, I bet you the population of people that love Hyrox in Florida and New York are bigger than
Well,
the population of people in the Midwest.
the only East Coast event that they really have is, I think, like they run it in New York, and that's really been the only one that has for events that they've been able to host on the East
Well,
Coast
they
so
they
far.
had the Miami Hyrox on the beach.
Oh yeah,
Like, you
Southern.
know, Hyrox in Florida just typically like Hyrox in general is just like it's obviously a fitness event. Florida is a state is just obsessed with just working out. Like you're either an alcoholic or you have a six pack. Like those are your two options in the state of Florida. That's going to be a good clip. That's going to get us a lot of trouble. Um, what was I going to say? I'm only going to DC to basically take David Magita's dreams of becoming a champion of his own city and bury it down so deep that his emotional health will be fractured for years.
Do we know that he's already signed up for it?
Oh, dude, there's not a chance in hell that
For
that
sure.
dude's not going to show up to his own city race. He's going to pump it up with his gym and everything like that. And I'm going to show up and shit all over his dreams. And that's a healthy way to approach training. I watched this video the other day of talking. Tom Brady was talking about his competition. He was talking about how much he
I don't
hates.
have competition, or I don't have friends on the other side. I had my teammates.
Yeah, and everyone's like, I don't understand why you two fight. Like, what's wrong? Why is Hyrox so upset? And I was like, what are you talking about? This dude's
This is a
competing
sport.
against me. Yeah, this
Yeah.
dude's competing against me, and you don't know about our private conversation, so stick to yourself. But I'll speak on it publicly. I'm gonna fucking shit on that dude, and I'm gonna take the cash that I earn afterwards, and I'm gonna buy all my best friends drinks, and then I'll send. There's a website called poopsenders.com, and I'll send just gallons of shit to his gym. Such a heavy amount that it will fracture any weak man's body trying to pick that shit up. I think it's seven. Go to poopsenders.com right now. You can buy shit.
I know you could send it, and they have all the thing is that the beauty of the website is you can send it anonymously. However,
Yeah.
you taking that anonymity out of
I'm
what
just
you were
shooting
going
it.
to be sending.
I'm shooting it from the hip. I'm shooting it from the hip. I don't need the money. I'd rather spend it on shit. Rather spend it on shit.
Oh, you're gonna love
Um,
this.
so Chicago is the major DC and North America major. Hyrox is a major, and DC is the North America major. Says no Retagan.
You ready for that?
What? Oh, that is heavy. That is a
Their
heavy
headline
picture.
banner picture is the rear
Rhino.
end of an elephant or a rhino.
Yeah.
Summer sale.
Oh gosh, did we unpack the story about what happened in the cabin with Caleb?
No.
Oh, this is pretty gnarly.
There
So
was a hashtag. It was like the poop tails. You know, the instead of the duck tails, it was like the poop tails.
yeah,
What's going on? Is that why one of the ladies got her own Airbnb? I can imagine that would probably be like a driving force as to why she got her own place.
there's no way to understand what Ange does mentally. But basically, there was just this funk, and we thought that there was like a dead animal under the house,
Yeah.
and we like opened up the thing and looked in there a little bit, but it was like you'd have to go pretty deep to understand what was going on, and and basically, like I had to leave for a meeting in LA. And at some point in time, Caleb just decided to go in there with a flashlight and figure out what's going on. I believe because of that hurricane and like just like a bunch of water moving through the house and stuff, it fucked up the toilet system and it moved a pipe. So like if this is like part of our septic system, there was a pipe that was going into it and it
Mhm.
fell off. So there was shit
Mm.
just
Oh,
dumping
just
into the basement of the house.
oh, no.
Dumping, dumping,
Mm.
dumping, and now all of a sudden you've got 6 athletes there, they're eating tons of food and pooping like 10 times a day each, and the smell just started increasing at a rate that was, like, incredible. Like, it was just like, "What is going on?" It's getting worse and worse by the second. So Caleb had to go down there, and then I had to call, like there's that there's no structure to Crestline, it's basically
Mm-mm.
like a bunch of just
It's a,
mountain
"Hey,
savages.
I got a buddy that does this. Give Robbie a call."
Yeah, give old Robbie a call. Robbie knows how to fix a poop pipe. Uh, I called this dude Shane that I've become friends with up there. He's like the coolest dude ever. He's MacGyver. He's MacGyver.
Mm.
And I called him. I was like, dude, I don't have any other options. And him and his homies came down and they fixed the situation like snap. And it cost me a boatload of money to fix it, but at the same time, like it saved the lives of many.
Yeah.
Heavy though. Like,
Well, you guys didn't get into, Jankum, did you?
what's that?
It's huffing, fecal gas. You put it in a bottle, put a balloon on top. The kids were doing it back in the day called butt jankum.
I don't care. I don't want to talk about this anymore. There's certain things that I just cannot extend on. Like I cannot get myself into that place mentally. It gives me the grossness so much, the ick, that I'm out.
That you, David. Ew.
Uh Aisha said that we're right about Florida. And like I've lived in Florida a lot. I've got nothing bad to say about Florida. I actually prefer that you are like you live a polarizing lifestyle. Like you're drunk on a boat or you're getting ripped on the beach. But and I think that's very interesting. Augie's down there. Augie lives a life that is probably cooler than any man that I
I
know.
think every Thursday and Friday he's got access to his yacht club, and he's tooling around on the waters.
He's always on a
Cruising.
boat. I'm like,
Yeah.
"What's out there? Like, what are you doing?"
You're just cruising, man.
I wanna get a boat. I feel like I have to get a boat. Are you getting cold?
No, I thought that was a little bit unprofessional. I had my extra shirts up on my chair.
There you go. 40 minutes in the episode cleaning up your
No, I
act.
just I just noticed it.
Dude, how do you feel about the new background of my room? This is now my new room, so this
This
is
is
our
the
new
new bed.
podcast. Yeah, it's
I
kinda
like it.
interesting.
I think I slept in that room.
How dare you? Yeah,
It was when
this is
it was 2 Marches ago. Isn't that
I think
crazy?
that's when we used to have K on the team.
Mhm.
Crazy K.
Yeah, he stayed on one side and I was on the other side. Which fast forward to the end of that weekend, we look up in the corner right by the entryway of the entire apartment there. There's a black widow
Yeah,
spider.
yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, maybe we should get rid of that. Nah, he takes care of the other thing. I was like, but it's a black widow spider.
I've been
I
up here
guess
for
I
10
guess
years.
that's like just seeing an ant on the wall, huh?
Yeah. I've just grown to realize that this being up here and being in my cabin, you are you are so deep in the woods. You are part of the woods. So just
Mhm.
having this like really over the top expectation of like things not getting involved in your life, it's a losing game. Every time I leave my truck week or two parked, I come back
Mhm.
every single time mice have gotten into my engine bay and started eating stuff. I cannot
Mm.
control it. I've lost thousands of dollars worth of those rats. And then
How'd you find your keys? How did your keys get stuck in the grill? Did
oh
you have to
fuck,
break
dude,
down a window?
I've still not gotten those out of there.
No kidding.
Dude, they're stuck somewhere in the bumper. Thank God you just reminded me of that. I could try to take it
So
apart.
does that mean you could technically get in your car and
No.
do the push to start because it's
Mm-mm.
within a frequency?
No, those things are so smart. If I put my key on the door and open it up and then try to turn on the car, it's like key is not in car.
Mm.
Close it and it will work.
Well, here we go.
Victor,
Here's a good one. Who you run
Arlington,
race
Virginia,
doubles with
DC
in
are
Burma?
considered the two fittest cities in the US, according probably doesn't translate. Dude, that's such a lie. DC is not considered two fittest cities.
A fit city is DC?
No.
I would
No.
think like Colorado would be. I mean, everyone bikes and hikes there. That's got to rank higher than the DC senators and
I would check your sources on that, dude, because a lot of times, sometimes the cities, dude, everyone runs there. That's that's not a metric either. You should see New York
running from
City.
the police.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm being a hater, but at the same time,
Oh,
yeah,
he
you're a
lives
fit
there.
dude. There's a lot of fit people that live in random cities at all times, but there's no way DC is even close to being one of the fittest cities. I would say places that are warmer, like you start to go down and you start to go look at places like San Diego, you start to look at like places like Miami, where having extra body fat and heat all of a sudden makes it more challenging to live. People end up getting leaner. People are moving around a lot more. People are in much less clothes. They're exposed so they can hide a lot of their fat. Dude, if you go look up at any of the northern cities, their body mass just gets thicker and thicker and thicker. And I'm not even talking from a place where I have like exact stats. DC just has bad mental health. Wow. Arlington, Virginia. I'm not picking up on that. No. I also wouldn't trust ACSM for shit. We're going to talk to my dad, who's the best at sourcing information. Madison, Wisconsin, I would say yes. Minneapolis, not a chance. San Francisco, everyone's on drugs. St. Paul, Minnesota, tough. There's a lot of good CrossFitters there. In St. Paul, Minnesota, where First Form's based out of, dude, you're muted.
I'm not sure. First form.
And type in where's First Form based out of. Crestline is the fittest city on the planet. Thank you for noticing that, Caleb. You know what I
St.
want
Louis,
to
Missouri, Mizzou.
Victor, I want to go over this. Since you're here right now, I was going to ask, how much can a Hyrox athlete earn this year as a pro? You probably have the data on this stuff, but I think there's 5 majors where I think you can win $10,000 for first place at each of them. And I think first place at World Championships is $50,000.
Wow, they're really up in the bag, huh?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. You know what the most disappointing
Scary.
city I've ever been to was?
Just walk around the city. Look at the
Yeah,
people.
it was Edinburgh, Scotland. I'm
Mm,
Scottish, and I was so excited to go meet my people. And I got there and I was like, these are not my people. These
mm.
people are heinous.
That's actually
They're,
my cover photo, the Edinburgh Castle.
dude, they are fat. They're
I don't know.
nasty.
We did a lot of walking. I don't know. I don't really remember too many overweight people.
Whew, it was heavy. It was
It was
heavy.
big.
Um, we have Skid Row here in LA. Wadzam, do you live in LA? Anyone, those tweakers could win High Rocks in a second. That's so true. That is so true.
They pick up cars on those drugs.
Yeah, they're unstoppable. Unstoppable. You know what? Alex usually is tuning into the show and commenting by now. I think that's a good sign that Alex has not commented once. It means that he's sleeping.
He's sleeping. He needs some rest.
He should be up training right now.
He's got a lot of rollerblading to do.
I think, dude, I see he's posting about his knee. Like the
Yeah.
last thing he should be doing is running a lot. Like he owns a
If
bike.
he
He should be
he
biking.
he was doing 824 miles last night in the dark and without a headlamp, or I guess he had a flashlight, but I'd be like, if my knee was messed up, that's like a cocktail for like really, hitting a pothole and rolling your ankles.
Hmm. I'm listen. He should be rollerblading a ton, rollerblading up the hills and stuff. He should be in the gym. He's got keys to the gym. Oh, dude, by the way, there's a company that's coming to drop off like the most insane fitness equipment in my house in the
Mm.
next couple days.
At the Malibu home?
Yeah, dude. They just reached out to me and like, the fitness companies always reach out to us. They're like, "We'd
Yes.
love to send you some equipment." And they like send us
Yeah.
like a rubber band.
Mhm.
And I'm like, "Thanks." They're like,
Yeah,
"Would you
there
post
was
about it?"
there
I'm
was a
like, "No."
whole company that kept hitting us for super bands.
Yeah. And I'm like, I
I'm sure
can't.
they're good, but
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with that. But just, dude, they're coming in and they're building one of these like mega weight racks with like all
mm,
like the handles on it and everything like that. I'm
with like the
so
cable
excited.
side to side?
No cables, but like I'm gonna wait until this partnership actually happens.
Yeah.
But they're showing up tomorrow and supposedly building the things. They're like, we just want to see you working out on it and it would be helpful. And I was like, listen, we're gonna use it, but
Yeah.
I want to see it actually happen before we have any agreements here. So
I
they're
would
coming
like
tomorrow.
to put this out there. If you have any extra ski ergs or row ergs that are duplicates after the end of the season, I have room for them in my garage, and I would be gladly to parent them for a while.
Oh, okay. Okay. I like that. Dude, that's another thing. So Concept 2 offered to support me this season with some extra equipment because of like some of the training we were doing. I need some extra equipment on it. Definitely a big shout out to them. They've always been
Yeah.
super supportive. And at this point in my life, like I spend more time on machines than I do running, and it's healthy. Like I have no issues with it. I always get fitter. It just ends up being one of these kind of things where I'm very grateful to have the machines. I think it's the best way to train for longevity and overall fitness.
What do
So
you normally put your the damper when you do a ski, when you do a row? Is it Hyrox damper, or do you do a little bit less or a little bit more?
I do either 10 or 5.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because you got to understand, like that 7 is just like a drag rate that like is necessary for the event, but it's not
Mm.
efficient. So if you look at the best rowers in the world, they're down like near that 5. And I do 10 sometimes to work on strength capacity and sprints, but usually I'm down in like the 5s and 6s. And like
So then on race day, are you doing 10 or are you doing 5? Because you can
I'll,
touch
pro-
it once,
I'll
but
probably start dropping it down to the 6s and stuff like that. Like I just don't I can generate more force on those things than anybody else in the world that I'm competing
mm,
against. And I don't need to be working at that high of a level at that point. Like I get out of there. about 8 to 14 seconds faster than all the other competitors. And the amount of energy that it will take to have that 7 versus the 5, it's not necessary. Like, I don't need to put in 10% more effort to get the same amount of work done. I can increase my stroke capacity up a little bit. I want to go through a couple more things. So we talked about Strength X2, the doubles races that are coming up. I guess we did bring up like how much money can a Hyrox athlete make. So let's just do the math on this. If you do, I think you've got Hong Kong. I don't
As
think you're
the
allowed to do that
Hyrox
unless you're last
Hyrox
chance
race
qualifier.
schedule.
Yeah, there's Hong Kong, Vienna, Chicago, Stockholm, and then you got DC. And then you got Worlds, which is 50. I think you can make 90,000 if you did all of them,
And you
which is
won all
pretty.
of them, yeah?
Yeah, if you win all of them. You can't do Hong Kong because I think it's last chance qualifier, and you're not allowed to do it if you've already qualified, which I think is stupid. I think it should just roll down. They should let me 42K per major, but I'm looking for each prize placement amount. So if you do 10 and 10, and then you do 5 and 5, you're at 30, and then you do 3 and 3, which is, you're at 36, and then you do 1 and 1, you're at 38, then you do 5 and 5, you're at 40, I think, 39. And then you go down to like the 250s and the 100s. That would be the proper way to do it. I honestly like this comes from me, and it doesn't sound great because I'm the best guy in the world, but I don't think that they should feed the people at the bottom of the barrel as much as they do. Like it's like when you go to like a championship, you don't just like give out handouts because people showed up. Like, you got to pay the best so that the best can um, continue to push the envelope. And that's just it. Like the biggest dog eats the most. And that's how I would structure it. But if they make it cheaper than $10,000, I'd be pissed. Just saying.
So it's going to be 10K for the what are
That's
they called? Like US or North American Championships and
Yep.
the UK Championships, UK Ireland Open Relay Championships.
I don't know what the hell that is. Hong Kong is not a major next May. There's no prize money. At least they haven't said anyways. That's from Noel Retagan. Fuck. So much for me going to Hong Kong. Yeah. I was excited about Hong Kong.
Were you going to go?
Yeah. I mean, the next chapter that we're opening up for Builder is going to be in Asia. So
Asia Pacific.
time to go over there and go meet my people.
That's right.
That's right. Okay, Morningwood Radio. Let's see what else I've got. I want to talk about Black Friday sales and things like that, but I'm going to go into the show notes of people asking us questions on Instagram. There's this kid that has asked me the same question every single week.
Have you answered it?
Yeah, I do on the show all the time. He just continues to ask the same thing. He's a 15-year-old kid, and I don't want to sound rude, but I'm like, what's going on with you? You ask the same question all the time. And I've even DM'd him. So I guess 10K times 4 majors in the world, plus the world championship prizes. The last two races are just qualifiers, all those cheap fucks. So you just got to make money in the beginning. So, Victor, are you saying that Stockholm pays out, Vienna pays out, and Chicago pays out? Shoot me straight, Victor. You've got sparse information. We need answers.
He sounds like he's got the inside scoop.
Yeah, dude, we want the scoop. Okay. Robert Paxton. It's a little off from Murph training, but what would your take on CHP swing towards the CHP Crucible? I don't know anything about the CHP Crucible. I know that Alex Viada puts it on, and I respect the guy immensely, but I'm just not going to compete in anything but Hyrox anymore.
Mm-hmm.
No time. Trevor Ottoman, fitness. Can you go over snatch progression? I'm being a little bitch on the catch on the bottom. If you're having issues with snatches, I had to accelerate my my capabilities in snatching very quickly because I wanted to go to the CrossFit game in a short period of time. Uh, Wait a second. They're only you got to do snatch balances and you should get a bamboo bar. So Victor, they're only paying out cash at DC and Chicago. That's it. They're not paying at the European Championships at all. Victor, you need to start using full sentence structure because this is bullshit. What the fuck, man?
Oh, hang
Okay,
on. Noel might have one, or Noel.
majors pay out 4 of them. Prize money not announced yet. Dubai event earlier this year. Nobody cares about Dubai. They have way too much money and they paid absolutely jack shit. Screw you, Dubai. Um,
You were talking about government games, though.
no, government games sucks ass too. Okay, Marshall Couples. Caleb, Bike, or Damper, doesn't matter. You suck no matter what. Damn, heavy from Marshall. Love you showing up. Victor, saying LOL does not fill the gaps on what you've been saying to us.
You have
You've got
not
such
given us any further information.
Dude, Victor,
I'm just
you've given
flying
us the shittest
DC.
information ever. Noel
Come on, Vic.
Radigan has better information than you. Noel, you are now considered our greatest source of information. Victor, you've gone to the bottom of the list. Um, I,
Okay, 4
I don't know what's
majors.
going on.
Maybe
Supposedly they've
he's like
increased the cash
translating.
prizes.
Okay.
I'm going to be
Oh,
very
here you go.
disappointed.
Here
Wad
we go.
Zombie.
Here we go. Shy DC and the 2 majors in Europe. 4 majors.
Dude, Wad Zombie coming after Victor right now. I like this. I like this a lot.
It's the racing podcast.
Zachary.
He probably does.
Zachary Farney. If you had to add in one workout a week to sharpen up for DecaFit, what would it be? Well, first of all, I wouldn't go to DecaFit because that's a huge mistake. And second of all, you should just train for Hyrox because it's a harder and longer event and you'll dominate everybody at DecaFit. Hopefully that answers it. Jackham, 95. Pick one, 100 burpees or 10 400-meter sprints. I mean, I guess because the value of it, I do 400-meter sprints because I need to run more. The Alchemy coaching, do you include zone 2 training workouts in your training for Hyrox camps? I mean, I do a lot of zone 2 training. When you have a lot of people show up for training camps, I tell everybody, guys, listen to your heart rate, and everybody just red lines it the whole time. By the end of the camp, everyone just folded and they don't show up to workouts anymore. So they don't listen, and then I'm the only one standing at the end of the camp, but that's just happens.
Yeah, but I
Aaron,
would imagine like your zone 2 is a lot faster than the average Joe's zone 2.
dude, you'd be surprised. Day one, we did this big mountain run, and I was walking up the hills, and everybody was running. I was like, guys, slow down. You're here for 7 days. Slow down. Never listen. Okay, Aaron Mikkel Hill OCR. How much running should you be doing in your Hyrox training? I think you should run the amount of time that you think your run estimate is at least once a week. So if you're going to run like a 90-minute Hyrox, you should run 90 minutes once a week at least. Keep that
Well, with
fitness up.
Ultimate Engine, once a week on like Mondays or Tuesdays is the 4 rounds, 5 rounds, 6 rounds of the 5 minutes, a 5-minute pace, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely speed work and stuff, but like that's the biggest thing I would tell anybody. I was like, if you're not doing the endurance work, you're not going to do well in an endurance event, which Hyrox is.
It's a running.
I'm running 40 to 60 miles a week when I'm getting in shape, but I'm biking a ton too. I mean, it just depends. Are you going to stay in California once you're done competing? This is from Ben Jardine. I think Ben's trying to get in and be my roommate, if you know what I mean. I probably, for the sake of the fact that California is amazing and I think I'm going to be a mega millionaire, I will stay in California because I like it. Do I think California is a good state for society or human beings? No. I think California is the biggest waste of the United States capabilities that I've ever witnessed. And I just
There's a
went
big
to get
decline.
gas yesterday. It was $7.29 a gallon.
Mm.
That's not feasible for almost any human being on the planet. And they're going to destroy California. And I'll sit here and watch at my place. But it sucks, man. I feel bad for anybody who lives in California. But I want to build a business here. I think it's super important. I think I value it. Like, I'll support me and mine to get through it in California, but California is a shit state. Michael Kirkmeister. This is the guy who asks every single time, how would you build an Elite 15 athlete from the ground up? Michael, I'm hoping you're listening to this. Just DM me privately and we will have a conversation. And I'll help you out as much as I can. Any tips on improving your ski? You picked Hyrox locations for this major season. Ryan Bell, dude, I would just honestly watch videos on people who are doing ski ergs like myself and other athletes at the highest level, and just keep on trying to emulate their workouts. Just the same way I would watch snatch videos if I want to get better at snatches. Jared right here is asking my hate for DecaFit.
Now, we do love Deca in, I think it was a Deca Spain, which we're the official drink sponsor of.
Yes. I think DecaFit's great. I really do think DecaFit's great. I think it's a great test. It's a great way for people to compete. I just like to talk shit because that's what I'm good at. And also,
so there's not really like a burning factor that put a chip on your shoulder that it was like they're done. They're not on my good list.
Yeah, I guess I should probably talking shit about DecaFit. I'm sorry. Marshall, I've been hitting Ultimate Engine for HyperCon 90-minute runs almost every Saturday. Marshall's got the right idea.
Oh, and then we got Caleb for the follow-up almost every Saturday.
Gosh, almost every Saturday. Wow. Caleb Yates coming in with the beanbag punch. Oh, man, this is great.
Should Hyrox buy out the Deca brand? I think Deca is so ingrained in Spartan.
Yeah, they'll never do it. They'll never do it. But Spartan Race did just buy OCRWC, which is crazy. I think that's pretty fucking nuts. Let's see here. Who will you be doing doubles with this season? AEP physical therapy training. I'm not telling you. Is my answer.
That was an earlier question.
Yeah, Bobby Savage.
You just gotta wait and see.
Are you an alien? Doesn't make any sense how in shape you are as a human. Are you? Are
you a lizard people?
Are you lizard people? I just never stop moving. Like, I got to pee right now so bad, and I can't stop shaking in my chair. Rico Salcido. What's more impressive, running a 5-minute mile or a 3-hour marathon? By far the 3-hour marathon. You'll watch a lot of people be able to get by with the skin of your teeth on a 5-minute mile. It's not an endurance event at that point. But the 3-hour marathon is like consistency, training, pacing, nutrition. It's not even a close conversation.
I'm going for a 4-hour.
There you go, baby. Do you have a pump-up playlist? Jared Barcia. Yeah, I do. It's private, though. What makes you tick outside of sports? What drives you in business? I just read books about people that have done far greater things than me. And at that point, like, it just shows me where the high watermark is, and we're nowhere near it. Everybody who's sitting here watching this podcast, you're doing 10 to 20% of your capability. You just are. I mean, fuck, dude, this book on Magellan right now, going to conquer and discover and circumnavigate the globe when there was nothing out there is a good resource now. Like, it'd be hard to sail across the world right now as is with all of the amenities. And this did it. And against all of the odds, against mutiny, against piracy, against savages, like against bad weather, like he just did it. And I'm sitting here and I'm like on my iPhone, I was like, I'm going to post about my new supplement. And it took me 30 seconds of slapping my thumb against my screen. Life ain't hard. I'm going to piss and I'm going to come back.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Wad Zombie. Start talking about myself. So my friend Craig gave me a call earlier this morning. Maybe he should put his mic on mute. But as kind of like a challenge starting October 1st, he had a good idea. You take 5 different exercises, and he was going to do 100. And I thought, well, let's kind of like chipper it down, and let's see how we get with the first month. But you take 5 different exercises: pull up, push up, TRX row, uh, flutter kicks,
Oh,
and shoulder presses. And you take those
that
5
work.
exercises. All right, so I was talking about. Thank you, Dylan. I was talking about this challenge that me and my buddy Craig might be starting October 1st. You take 5 different exercises, 50 reps, 40 reps, 30 reps, 20 reps, 10 reps, and then you do that daily. So you take any 5 group of exercises: air squats, pull ups, push ups, bicep curl, and shoulder press, and you do 50 reps, 40 reps, 30 reps, 20, and then the exercise can change daily. But just as something to keep your mind on track during the holidays when everyone is reaching for that extra layer of cake, which you should by all means do that. But just something to keep my mindset and just keep going. Maybe we're gonna implement that. There you go.
You're
Wad
gonna have to
zombies.
explain that whole thing to me again, but
No,
we'll do it, I guess,
we'll talk
another
about it
time.
later.
You murdered my name every time, Jared. It's impossible to pronounce that last name. It's impossible.
Urshia. I know you gave us how to spell it phonetically last time. It was like a Burke, like Burke, Burka.
All right, we got this chick, Tracy Ann Masterson. She says, "How long would your training block be for 100K?"
Mm.
If you really want to do well in something like 100K, and let's say you're mildly trained, like you've done 10Ks and half marathons, I would say that it will take you probably 12 to 16 weeks to be able to do 100K. And the
Mm.
way that I would do it differently from other people is every 2 weeks, I would do a long run. And I would
Like
focus
longer
on
than
having,
your like just a amped up version of what you normally would do your long run for like a marathon?
oh, yeah. Like I
Yeah.
would go up to 20, and then I
Mm.
would go to 25, and then I would go to 30, and then I'd come back down, and I'd do like 20, and then I'd do 27, and then I'd do like 33, and then I'd come back down. And I would do that like a couple times through. And at that point, like I would spend most of my time training on the bike. I would do lots of long runs. So that other Saturday, I would be doing like 5 to 6 hour bike rides. And endurance, interestingly enough, actually, like, the more you do of the motion that you're going through, the better. But also at the same time, you can spend so much time doing things like biking and non impact based endurance that will really help you just build your body's efficiency and capabilities. Washington, D.C. is calling me.
Mm.
Um, and it will make a big difference.
Thank you for picking up. Listen closely. We've identified your business for a loan
Oh,
pre-qualification.
fuck, dude. We got a
Oh,
loan.
yeah, we're gonna get a loan.
Yes.
We've been qualified.
We need help. Please.
We need it.
Um, And you'd
Oh,
be
fur
surprised, man. Like I
untold.
didn't train for that Ironman, the last one that we did, with long runs at all. And I had a really good marathon time. Like basically without me cramping, I ran a 3:20 marathon at the end of an Ironman. And I think really if I'd done a little more specific work, I would have broken 3 for sure. And I just did so much time on the bike. My body got really efficient at like going longer, and I just learned how to consume food properly during it. And that's the most important thing when you get into those longer races. It's like how well do you manage consumption? Because eventually it's just you're losing water and you're losing calories. Like you got to find a way to put it back in.
Hey, so this will be my first marathon coming up. Can we do a show and maybe like a segment on how to do that?
Yeah.
Food, water. Yeah. Wearing the
Yeah.
vest, wearing not the vest, wearing the belt vest.
Dude, there's most major marathons have so many snacks. You'd probably just
Mm.
want to keep like a little Ziploc with gels and the water you can get as you go.
Mm.
Yeah, like I mean, like I would, if I did it again and I really wanted to do well, I would just hydrate with the products that I love the most, like really, really well ahead of time.
Mhm.
And then I may bring a bottle with me to start the race off, but then eventually, like, I would double scoop or triple scoop it with builder, and I would take sips along the way, and then I would drink the water on course. Like, that's something that I would do no problem. Let's see. Burr, I'm cold. See ya.
So that's how you pronounce his last name, like Burcia.
I'm not buying it, dude. Just not buying it. All right. We're an hour and 10 in. I think we've covered most of it.
Well,
I think we have. If anybody's still
sorry we
listening at
haven't
this
been on
point,
for like Monday and the sheriff roundup on Thursday, but we appreciate you showing back up.
yeah. How many people do we have live at this point? Like 10, 20?
Well, there's 39. At one point, we had 47 today. So
That's
thank you all.
Not bad. If you guys are watching this right now, I want to ask you a favor. If you've taken our products before, go to the website, leave a review, and I'm going to pick one person who leaves a review, and I'm going to send you guys a free bundle of the Strength X2 and the Strength X2 and the Hydro. It doesn't matter where you're at. I'll just pick one person. So go leave a review. It helps us out a ton. Like, we have so many customers buying for us now, yet we don't have that many reviews. And the same thing for the show. You guys all listen. We get thousands and thousands of downloads and
subscribe
listens.
button on Spotify and smash the like button.
It helps. It helps. And we're trying to build like basically a media company that sells products. Like, we're always trying to give you guys better opportunities.
If you have a new experience with Hydro or now with Strength X2, absolutely leave another review and let us know what your next development was.
You could leave a bad review too, if that's your truth.
Mm-hmm.
I leave bad reviews all the time. I'm like, gosh, I wish I liked this product more, but it's a piece of shit. And that's okay. That's okay, because that's honesty. But at least it's a review, and it shows people that we do have a business that is generating and connecting with the community. And it does allow people to understand our products better. It allows us to understand it better. And, we're pushing it. We're pushing it to the limits, guys. We're always trying to get new products and create better opportunities for our customers here. So thanks, guys, so much for tuning in. It's the Romanian pronunciation of Barcha. Bercha.
Jared's got a great story. I think he's lost over 80 pounds. He's on the what's it called, the 70-day hard or 90-day hard.
75 hard.
75.
I really do like that. One of these days I'll try it. Like, I think there's no reason why somebody shouldn't try something like 75 hard when you want something to challenge you, something to just hold yourself accountable, and it will shape you as a person. It's the same reason why I'll just like do things like Ironmans in the off season, because you're like, I have to commit to this. Otherwise it's going to break me down. It's going to make me a better person by the end.
I've implemented the reading 10 minutes a day in the morning. I try to, I'm opening up the new book that my buddy Clay wrote, Be the One. And I'm reading 10 minutes a day.
I'm reading like 3 to 5 hours a day.
I know.
Audiobooks.
Yeah.
And I can't tell.
Do you run with that? Because there's no motivation for me, even on an easy run. I have to listen to music.
I can't do gym sessions, but I definitely will do books on tape when I'm running. Like
Really?
Yesterday, I definitely am doing books on tape. Like right now, I'm going to go into the gym. I'm going to go crank my pre-workout, and I'm going to go into the gym. I'm going to go do a session. I won't be able to stay focused. I won't be able to stay focused on what I'm doing with the book on tape. But for me, I'm just like recognizing that like there's so many easy ways to distract yourself now. It's like just like sit there, app, and or just like phone call and just shoot the shit with people, which I love to do. But every single time I'm done listening to a book, I'm like, wow, like I have a totally different perspective. I'm like, and there's never a time where like I get off an app and just be like, woohoo,
energized now that I just spent 3 hours scrolling.
Now, normally I'm like, oh my God, what's happening in the world? Hell.
Jared has lost 160 pounds.
Holy fuckamole. That's a lot.
Great job, guys.
Jared. I love you all.
Thank
you for leaving reviews. It's always very helpful. And guys, I gotta bounce. Alex, I hope you are kicking ass too, brother, because Ryan seems to be turning up the heat. All right, boys. I'll catch up with you soon.
Later.